Good morning, YouTube. Hold on to your hats because we are making my world famous Southern Comfort roasted ham. And this thing is ridiculous, over the top, and as good as it sounds. Alright, I'm gonna have to work fast because I made the mistake of thinking I could prep ahead of time, but that included having soft drinks in the house. The kids have found them and they're not gonna last. Alright, so here's my ham. I've got an 8, what is that? 8.495. Yeah, it's just a plain old ham, okay? It's nothing fancy. It's not spiral sliced. It's not got the little flavor packet. None of those things. Just a plain old smoked ham. That's it. And then I've got this pot, which I hope is going to be big enough. And the nice thing about that is it's going to allow me to soak this ham and then cook the ham in the soft drink stuff without having too much empty space, so I won't waste too much of the soft drinks. Alright, let me get that in there. I got lucky because that is a close fit. So anyway, alright, let's talk about the soft drinks for a minute. Southerners love to cook with soft drinks, and I have a ton of recipes that call for Coke, including the original recipe for this was Coca-Cola, right? But I'm not using Coca-Cola. This is what I'm using because this is our local soft drink. This is kind of a black cherry flavored cola. You can go ahead and you can use Coca-Cola if you want to. I just happen to love this. Love it, love it. You could use cherry Coke, that'd be awesome too. And you want to add enough to primarily cover your ham. If you're not 100% covered, I'm not going to talk about you when you're not in the room. But you do want to go as much as possible. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this ham up to a simmer. And we're going to simmer it for about an hour and a half. That was a near thing, wasn't it? Alright, so that was 4 bottles. These are however much 335 milliliters is. Don't make me do math or metrics in my head. 12 fluid ounces. There we go. 12 fluid ounces. So at this point, this is going to come up to a simmer. It's going to simmer for about an hour and a half. And then I'm actually going to stick this in the fridge overnight. You don't have to. You could make this all in one go. But if I stick it in the fridge overnight, I can work on it tomorrow when the kids aren't around and under my feet. But it'll also be cool enough for me to do the next step, which is going to be to put the crust on it. So really, this is the easiest, simplest step. Cover it with your cola, bring it to a simmer, hour and a half, and then you're done with the cola part. Okay? Okay. I just wanted to show y'all real quick. When I say simmer, that's the most you want to let it go. Okay? You want a nice, warm, sweet sauna for your ham. If you let it boil too hard, your ham will get tough. That's not fun. So anyway, we're gonna do this for an hour and a half, and then we're gonna stick it in the fridge. Okay, well, it still doesn't look like a whole lot, but it's been simmering for about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna turn the heat off, and I'm actually gonna let it sit here and cool down as much as possible before we go to bed. You don't want to stick something that hot in your refrigerator. It'll bring the temperature of your fridge down, and that's not what you need. So I'm gonna let this cool as much as possible right here. I actually may even take it out of the pot. I don't know. It'll cool faster if I do. But I did clear a nice big spot on the bottom shelf of my fridge for it, so I may just shove the whole thing in there the way it is. This is our ham the next day. It went overnight. It got nice and cold. You can see a lot of the fat congealed here. So all I'm going to do now is pull this ham out and put it on this cutting board and let it come up to room temperature. Alrighty, we are on a cutting board. We have our ham, which we simmered. We have our ham. Good Lord. Okay, now we're going to get it ready to get a crust on it, okay? And we're going to start by removing the skin and the fat cap, because we don't need that, okay? That will not do a single thing for us. This often, now listen, if you get a ham that somebody has already cross-hatched, or that has been spiral sliced, or what have you, you just do the same thing. If it's actually already been cross-hatched or spiral sliced, it's kind of easier to see exactly where the skin and the fat end and the actual meat of the ham begins. And you, listen, don't kill yourself trying to be perfect, but you do want the crust as close to the meat as possible. Woo. Sorry guys, I couldn't quite see what I was doing. I had to turn around and work. And as you trim it off, you will be able to see a little bit better on all sides where to take it off. And this is all there is to that. So I'm going to finish working my way all the way around him and get ready to put the glaze and the crust on it. I want y'all to think about these ingredients for a minute. We are using syrup. Now, where I'm from, I'm using sorghum syrup. However, just like with the cola, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Maple syrup is a gorgeous alternative. We're just making, been talking with my niece, we're talking about all the local Appalachian ingredients that we have. So I've decided to play around with all of those, see what we get. So anyway, I'm using sorghum syrup. You can use maple syrup. We're also using Dijon mustard, which is absolutely not Appalachian. So you can't give me too many kudos. Oh, he's almost ready. We're using rosemary. So think about that. Sweet, sticky, savory, and then we're gonna make it crunchy. All right, let me wash up and I'll be back. All right, we're ready for the next step. Let me show you what I've got. So this is one of my favorite ingredients. It's sorghum syrup. It's the Appalachian version of maple syrup. And it's just a dark, thick, sticky, gorgeous thing. All right, sorghum is a grain, I think. I don't know, Eugene sure wanted it on The Walking Dead, and I can't blame him. All right, so this is about a 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard, and we have about 2 good tablespoons of fresh rosemary that we've minced up over here. You don't need salt. Might want to give it a good thick whack of black pepper here in a minute, which I think I'm going to. I have almost reached the end of my syrup. You want about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of syrup as well. All right, so let me do this. Y'all may have just gotten a look at my secret ingredient. All right, let's see. Let's do this, because I want every bit of that goodness. All we do here is mix it up, okay? Now, I have an oven preheated to 225 degrees, and we're gonna do this next step at nice and low. So we wanna get a nice, thick, sticky kind of glaze thing happening. But we don't wanna use up all of our glaze at this point. All right, we're gonna do this in 2 stages. I think I first did this recipe. I posted my Southern Comfort roasted ham. Gosh, it's been a few years. And it was really popular, even though the video is all bleh. Video is messed up. It doesn't work well. A lot of people, for some reason, can't get all the way through it. I have no idea why. Why is my camera? Why are we not in? There we go. That did it. Sorry about that. Anyway, I don't know what's wrong with the video. I do know it was back from, this is how old it was. It was from the days before YouTube would let you post more than a 10-minute video. And I think I had to post it in 2 sections. It still got a lot of attention. But that's not very fair to folks that want to see the whole thing all the way through. So that's what we're doing here. Showing y'all how to do just a ridiculously over-the-top, fabulous and impressive, gorgeous ham.
It's really, I mean, you can do this on any special occasion, but a lot of these flavors are perfect for the holidays. They're rich and warm and a little sweet, a little savory. Now I've only used, can y'all see that? I've only used about half of my glaze. Here's my next step. Southern Comfort and a spray bottle, which, let's see if I can, we're gonna just mist it. So this is actually fabulous for cooking, or it could be an expeditious cocktail delivery system. I don't know, that's up to you. Hey, you know what? You can take that leftover cheer wine. I need to quit. All right, this is all we're doing at this point. We're gonna throw it in our low oven, 225 degrees, for about 2 hours. We want to bring everything up nice and slowly to a nice warm temperature, okay? Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna crust it, crank that heat up. All right, but for now, maybe 2 hours. All right, we've had a couple hours. Let's get that ham out and take it to the next level. I have no idea why I said it that way. All right, let me get my oven up to 350 degrees now. So the first stage we did 225 for a couple hours. Now we're going to 350. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Holy crap, wow. This thing is already gorgeous. Haha. I am all about simple and practical. And actually, this is really, it's an easy thing to do. Boy, when you get results like this, I am all for ridiculous and over the top and showy. All right, so this is the last of our glaze. We want this on here. If you run out of glaze, which I might, maybe not, but if you do, you can supplement with a little more syrup. Or, in my case, if I need it, I'm gonna use a little honey since I've already used all the sorghum I had. Maybe not, I may get lucky. Haha. Getting lucky. It's better to have a little too much glaze than not enough, in my humble opinion. Okay. Ooh, I'm glad that wasn't any hotter than it is, because I just about did something stupid. Okay, now, give it another spritz of your Southern Comfort. And here's where we're bringing in all that luscious black pepper. My mouth is already watering. Black pepper, rosemary, dijon, and sorghum is not take your head off sweet. It's kind of why I like it. I personally like more savory than sweet things. And I think that the sorghum does that perfectly. Alrighty, I have a whole bunch of crushed up ginger snap cookies. And I gotta say, when you pick your cookies, make sure you like the way they taste. One year, because I'm cheap, I bought the generic kind, and the ham was nowhere near as good as it normally is. And I was really upset. Couldn't figure out what had happened until the next day I tasted one of the cookies and I'm like, ugh, there's the problem. And it was the cookies. Most of the time I will buy generic anything, but in this case there are two name brands I like. And this isn't difficult, but you know, you're spending money and you're spending time and effort, and you want it to be as good as it can be. So in this case, branding counts. You're just patting him down. And the ginger snaps will adhere to that nice sticky glaze that you got going on. And then it will also adhere to your hand. All right. This is the last thing we're gonna do to this puppy before he goes back in the oven. So we are preheating to 350 degrees. And here is our last. Now, here's the thing about the SoCo at this point. Or if you want to use bourbon, use whiskey, although whiskey's a little harsher. If you use whiskey, I would actually probably go with maple and not sorghum because I think the whiskey would need the additional sweetness. So you want to get it, you're walking a line here, people. You want as much of the SoCo on your ham as you can, but if you get it too saturated, your crust will fall off. So spray it lightly and move on. Give it a minute. Up, 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 up. And then you can, you know, one for you. Alrighty. We are gonna go back in the oven. Two things. You can either put it in there for about an hour, or you can just put a thermometer in it because you're gonna go for about 140 degrees. It's already fully cooked and we have warmed it up a lot. So really all I'm looking for is for that crust to do its magic. So time and temperature can, you know, kind of go out the window on that one. We're just looking at how pretty it gets. All right, y'all, it's time to see what we have. Actually, I know what we have, and it's pretty amazing. Hi, kitty. That's baby cat. He's in here because sometimes he chases you down and aggressively forces you to snuggle. Check that out. Oh. Okay. It smells amazing. The crust is perfectly golden brown. Oh, it's crispy. I am excited over this. Okay, normally I would fuss at you and tell you that you have to let it rest and all that other stuff, but I have to run a couple errands real quick, which means I have to leave it unattended and there's no way it's gonna survive Boone and Bladen getting home from school. So, we're gonna give it a quick taste. Besides, this is not a holiday, this is just our dinner. Ha. This is, I love YouTube because I have an excuse to do all these other things all the time of the, oh my gosh. I can do holiday food all year long. Okay. That's gorgeous. Wow. 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 Baby, I will be with you in a minute. And then, just take a quick peek. Quick peek. It's not a peek, it's a bite. Quick bite. Oh. That is every bit as phenomenal as you think it's going to be. Oh yeah. Southern Comfort roasted ham. I can't even talk, I'm so happy over it. Southern Comfort roasted ham. There it is, guys. Make that and you'll probably name a kid after me. Hey YouTube, thanks